What I didn't understand, being the naive little Christian girl that I was, that had a completely different background, is how serious it is when someone develops an addiction at that young age, and that it would probably resurface again since he had not ever received treatment for it. And that's what happened. So 3 months into our marriage, he began abusing alcohol. That began many years of seeing him battle his addiction, at times very valiantly, wanting help, getting treatment, wanting to be free, and ultimately not being free. He was never abusive towards us physically. He never tried to harm us. In fact, his pattern was to just leave. He did not want to expose the children to his addiction. He just reverted back into that 12-year-old boy, that 11-year-old boy. And I saw my husband battling with stress, and he kept saying, it's a miracle I'm not drinking. It's a miracle I'm not drinking. I don't want to drink, And unfortunately, in the end of 2022, he relapsed, and it was bad. He ended up not only relapsing on alcohol, but it spiraled really quickly into a drug addiction, the one that he became hooked on that he had never really done before was methamphetamine, and it was absolutely devastating. It turned him into someone that I did not recognize. It's the darkest thing that you can imagine. I did not ever see my marriage turning out like that. For my children, it was a primal trauma happening right in front of me, and it was out of my control. I had been taking care of my children. I had been living in an RV. I had a baby, and I was maxed out. So when I got this news, I couldn't deal.
I would hear from her about every 6 months until the accident. I had a friend text me, and she said, I think Savannah's been in an accident. Where there were fatalities. That began my reconnection with Savannah. And that was where our Agape journey began. One of the things that I really like about Agape is that, for one, many of the kids there aren't with just biological family. And two, nobody's the weird one for having a parent in prison. I know that most families are not mom, dad, sister, brother, dog, but it can feel that way.
When I picked them up, they were in wonderful spirits, amazing spirits. I would say more excited than I had seen them in a while. They had made a lot of friends, but an event like this can really rock a kid's faith. It really can, at that age, that tender age. And so Agape is a protective factor for kids who are Christians or kids who are not Christians, either presenting the gospel to them in their time of need or strengthening them in their faith and helping them to understand that God is still God and God is still good, and you're going to be okay. You're going to get through this. What Agape did for my children was help alleviate a lot of their shame. At that critical time, I think that it would have been much more difficult to help them through that, and I don't know what that would have looked like.
The day that camp ended, she jumps into the car and she says, "Mom, can I go to youth group with Gabby?" That's a yes. Yes, you can. I'm actually right now going through an adoption process. I'm adopting both Leanna and Savannah. Without Agape, my daughter would not be going to a camp every summer where she feels normal. And without Agape, my daughter wouldn't have two amazing mentors.
It's obvious from those stories that the impact of incarceration is huge and real. It's our mission to provide hope and stability to these families and to help break the cycle of incarceration. Many of these families have been through so much trauma, especially the children. They are in critical need of healing and direction to uncover their God-given potential. Over time, our camps and follow-up efforts bring connection to healthy, caring communities, which gradually frees them to write a new story for their life. For only $600, you can sponsor an Agape child and send them home from camp with a bag full of gear, a heart full of amazing memories, and a new perspective anchored in the hope of the gospel. We invite you to partner with us as we serve these families to help break the cycle of incarceration.